in my time, guys and girls, before the internet, when I was still in school, this was now about 200, 300 years ago, we still had something that we called a newspaper. And I don't know if many of you know what a newspaper is, if you have ever touched a newspaper. But in the newspaper, there was often past exam papers or exemplary papers that we can use, and we to make our time go past, we would work out these stuff. So there they ask us solve x rounded off to 2 decimal places where necessary. Now I want you to think back. I need everyone's attention quickly on the board. This is not your straightforward question number 1.1. This is not your straightforward question. There's 4 marks available. So I'm going to try and explain to you in 4 minutes. I want you to mark your own work. Okay. So if we look at this question right here, and that is x plus 1. The moment when the answer here of x becomes negative 1, is what is going to happen? Let's do a discussion also on, let's just check. You're saying, let's just check our calculator. So that's going to be division. Where's the division? That one. No? Let's say you got your possible answers, and what was your possible answers? X is equals to 3 and x is equals to negative 1. So let's test the second answer, the last answer. If negative 1, no? Let's use that negative 1, we put it in a bracket, and we square that. Where's the square? That one. Square that minus 1, and we get what is this? Negative 1 plus 1, and I type equal sign. What happened there? Math error. You can tell me why. Because the denominator is going to be equals to 0. So first thing when you see something like this, denominator, there's a what we call a restriction. Ever heard of that word? Room 7, Noordepal High School, 2024. Yes. No? A restriction. So a restriction says the denominator can never be equals to 0. So let's look at what the marks would have gone through for the first one. We get a mark for writing it in standard form. No? When you equate it equals to 0. So your first mark, there's 3 steps up until your first mark. The first mark goes for that one correct. Now, I'm going to show you on a calculator how to factorize. If we're struggling to factorize, I'm going to call out his name. He's not here today. He found this, discovered this on his own. Shift. All of your white calculators can do this. Shift. No? You go there by mode. Sorry. Shift mode. And no. Alright, so then it's mode. Then you go there by equation. Listen carefully. You go by equation, and in a white calculator it will be 5. You factorize that. Just check there. So there's different kind of equations. So we're going to look for a quadratic one. Which one is it? Number 3. Number 3. So now we need to find out this is the A value, this is the B value, and this is the C value. This is the main reason why you are here today, guys. So we can factorize this by saying negative 1. No, it's not negative. What is the coefficient there? 1. Then I press equal sign. What is the coefficient of B? Negative 2. Enter. Then negative 3. Enter. What happens here? X is equals to 3 and x is equals to negative 1. Okay, but remember, what did it do? It factorized this equation and not that. But x is not equals to 1 because we have a restriction. So let's look at the marks again, factorization. So they would give a mark in the olden days for factorization, and then both answers, but their final answer goes for excluding that x is equals to negative 1. Everyone done with that? Okay. Can I mark the next one for you? Or can we mark the next one? Okay, there's another way. This is the way that Lino did it. He didn't even know he did it on this way. You can factorize that because that is a difference of two squares. No? So if you factorize that, that one and that one cancels out. But you need to remember that here is a restriction once again. And then you just solve x negative 1 because this one and this one cancelled out. So what that remains there is actually x divided by negative 1 is equals to 2. You take that x over and that is your final answer there. X is equals to 3. Now you ask me why did Lino get full marks for his mark? Because there is an alternative in the memo for doing this. So I would have given Lino, although he didn't know what he was doing, no? And I know he knows that he didn't know what he was doing, but luckily he's here, so for future references he would know, and I write down that steps down. Okay. Can we look at question number 1.2, guys? Everyone done? Okay. So question number 1.2. You're supposed to expand that first, BODMAS. No? Then you simplify. You go 8, that 8 and that 6 adds together. Now, I don't encourage this step, guys and girls. Oh, sorry, I don't encourage changing from negative to positives because last term I saw it wasn't one of your scripts, but I saw that learners who tend to do this, they forget. So if you do a negative changing to a positive, that needs to change, that needs to change, and that needs to change. So I would encourage, if you get there, leave it as a negative. What do now? Go to your calculator again. No? Type in, what is the coefficient now? Negative 1. What is the other one? 5 positive and 2. And then you get your answer like that. But they answered correctly 2 decimal places. And that's going to be 5,37. No? I see the end. I'm going to address the end now. And then the other one is going to be x is equals to negative 0,37. Guys and girls, I want you to practice typing this into the calculator like this because this is the reason why I enforced this class of today so that you can do these basic skills. Okay? If it's something that you're only learning now for the first time, you can write your name there, give me a like, a thumbs up in the comment section down below. If you've known it, tell us please in the comment section who was the person who showed you this, or did you discover it on your own, you smarty pants? Okay, I'm quickly going to address the question. I'm just going to pause here. Continuing now, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, looking at question number 1.2, they say consider this inequality. And the inequality given to us is 4x squared is, what is that sign again? Less than 9. So I would do for myself and I would go write this in standard form. So what is that going to be? 4x squared minus 9 is less than 0. Okay. So you have done that step. Now I would like you to go identify the A, B, and the C value in that one. Have you done that? Write it on your page. Write it on your page. I want to see. I'm going to browse through. What is the C value? What is the C value? What is the C value? Let's have a conversation. The C value is negative 9, yes. What is the B value? 0. No? So That is the important part here. I'm first going to do it. Good, learners. So showing you now, this is very important. I want you guys to focus. Take out your calculator. Go there to calculator. Press for me mode once again. Where do you think I'm going to go now? A lot of them don't. A lot of the learners don't know this. Onika, don't share with anyone this next secret. So there is computation, there is complex numbers, there's stats when we are going to work with stats. There's base, there's equation, there's matrices. We don't do matrices in the school syllabus currently. And then we have the table method, then we have a vector. Sometimes you work with vectors in physics, but we are looking actually for an inequality. So you press down, and then you see there, NEC, ratio and distribution. So after that, I press 1. Now they ask me what kind of inequality is this. Make a note for yourself. Write these steps down. No? When you're doing an inequality, you do the steps. Number 1 will be for a normal inequality that we have. Number 2 is going to be for calculus. So you can do a calculus inequality with these calculators as well. That's why these calculators run currently for $7.99 if you purchase them yourselves. Now, which one am I going to choose? Number 1 again. I hope you've written down the steps. Now I need to go make a choice. Is it the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one? Which one? The second one. Now you understand why is the A, B, and the C value important. Because what is the A value there? 4. What is the B value? 0. So I can leave just, alright, so B value, alright, we have A is 4, B is 0, no, and sorry, mine is saying no solution, but I need to fill in the C value, and the C value there is -9. You see? So no more excuses of getting these type of questions wrong. Now, guys and girls, so with this calculator, with power comes what? With great power comes great responsibility. So you now have the responsibility to go exercise this. Okay? Let's look at how the memo is set up for this question. Okay, we have that question. You see there. Memo marks with factorization, endpoints, and inequality notation with this one. I got this right without looking at the memo. Okay, I'm going to do the inequality now. Sorry, no, this simultaneous equation. Anyone got those answers on their own? 1.3. Okay, so after that, I'm going to give you time to go on. All right, great. Well, we're quickly going to mark question number 4. I would like you guys listen up, grade 12. I would like you guys to do these questions maybe for the next session. But we're looking at question number 4 here. There's actually a few more that I didn't put in. But let's focus quickly on question number 4. I need everyone's attention. Given f of x is equals to 2 over x plus 1, I need to, let's make a few important stuff here. What kind of graph is this? Hyperbole. X plus 1 is the x asymptote. So therefore I can say that therefore the 3 dots x is equals to negative 1. Remember, always opposite. And then the other asymptote is what? It is here, but it's not here. So it is there, but it's not there. It's 0. So the y is plus 0. Right. Now the equations of the asymptotes. 2 marks. This boys, look here, please at the memo. Sorry. If you don't like me, you're going to get confused. The mark only goes now. Nowadays, in our time, they were quite strict. We needed to know that. But in your, we're just going to get a mark for that. So x is equals to negative 1, and y is equals to 0. Give yourself a mark for that if you get it like that. Okay. Next question. Sketch the graph indicating the coordinates of the y-intercept as well as the asymptotes. 6 marks available here. Let's see. And now I want you guys to be honest. First mark goes for x is equals to negative 1. So on that line needs to be indicated to me. And I will give them a mark there. Then y is equals to 0. You can just x-axis is that line. Left branch, it cuts there by 2. You don't have to have the another coordinate. No? So the first coordinate goes that is for that one going at the x-axis, correct? Now look here, something that they don't tell you and teach you, but what you're seeing down in the memo, you get a coordinate on the left, which is a right, and a right branch. So I'm talking about this. Right, these memo answers, write the 6 marks, write it down for yourself so that you know what the examiners will be looking for. They might not even give you that marks, but if you include it, it knows you understand your work. Okay? So that coordinate doesn't have to be, it can be any coordinate. You simply just do substitution. You choose any value that is less than negative 1, and you just put it in here. You punch it in, what is the corresponding y value. Here you choose a value that is greater than 1. You do that. So check there, what is the 6 marks going for? out for all of that. Now see what the memo answer looks like and think to yourself, is this the sketch that I draw? Does mine look similar to this? Is mine as neat as this? So you see, honesty becomes an integral part now of these type of questions. And we need to be honest with ourselves. So it's still early in the year, and that's why we are working here, so that we can not make the same mistakes again and again. Everyone written this down? Okay. I want you to think about this question. 4.1.3. Write down the equation of the graph formed in the graph of F. Underline shifted 3 units right. So underline 2 units up. Right. Yes, okay. So here underneath, I want you to add there 4.1.3, guys. Write down this quickly. Nice and big, so you have space to add there. Fx Fx is equals to 2 over x plus 1. Now, right. So let's go look at the memo. Who thinks before we look at the memo as the answer for me now? Anyone wants to take a chance? Yes, I see one hand. Say what you got. Y is equals to. But what is the minus 3? What was the original graph? Anyone else wants to take a chance? Second. No. Right. Looking at the memo here, just make sure you have it. Let's answer. Just make sure on the memo I didn't make any mistakes. It is possible for anyone to make mistakes, so it's sometimes crucial to check all of your work. You see, that is the one that we added in, the -3 and the +2. So simplify that. So you get a mark because we're actually adding it in, and then we'll simplification of the answer. Okay, what is the next question? Determine graphical values for x, where this graph is greater than 1. So technically, if you draw your graph good, no? And you go to your sketch, this sketch, you can actually see there. Draw me a line or take a ruler, put your ruler on that 1 and 1. So they're asking you where is it going to be above this axis. So they don't draw a line, just hold your ruler there. So your ruler should be lying right about, let me just see, your ruler should be lying right about there, greater than 1. Remember, this is y. Yeah? So they're asking where is this equal or greater than? Where is this equal or greater than 1? So my answer would be, is it here greater than 1? No. But it starts anything here. And what is that value there? So it starts from -1. That x value is -1. Is that -1 included? No, because it's asymptotic. So it's excluded -1 and it goes up until 1. Let's check the memo. You see that? They just draw that line. What is the x value there? -1, and this is graphically. So therefore the answer here is between -1. You see there, only 1. There isn't a included sign there, but here is an included sign. Very important thing. Nice question. Now they ask you, you have this question there. Consider the functions f(x) is equals to 2x squared and gx is equals to half to the power of x. What kind of function is this? What kind of function is that? F of x, quadratic. Other name for a quadratic function is called a parabola. So, what is the shape of that function? Right? Draw for yourself the shape. How would that look? What is this function g? It is an exponential function. Let's look at this question. Restrict the domain of f in one specific way so that the inverse of f will also be a function. That question was in the we had a similar question in the not in the test, in the task, yes. Okay, let's go look at the random answer. You can either say x needs to be greater or equals to 0, or x needs to be less or equals to 0. Any one of those are correct. Simple answer. One more. That's hence, draw the graph of your new function f and its inverse. So we're just going to finish up with these questions now. You don't have them on the page. Alright, I'm going to leave this here on display. You can write it down and then we just finish off, and then I would like to thank you for the session. This is the last part of this questions. I remind you to do question number 2 and 3 on your own, and then I see you